Hi, I'm Angela Wolf, fashion designer and online instructor, and today I want to show you a quick pattern hack. We're going to use just a simple t-shirt and a tank top, either one is fine, adding new seams and inserting lace, a very high fashion trend. First of all, when you choose the lace fabric, there's so many different kinds. Some fray, some don't, some have stretch, and some does not. You really need to keep that into consideration with whatever pattern you're using. If the pattern is real fitted like a t-shirt or a tank top, then you're going to want to have a little bit of stretch in your lace so you can get it over your head. So let me show you how to do this on a pattern. So any t-shirt, any tank top works. This is the back, this is the front. You need to decide where you want the lace. So what I usually do is measure on myself where, if I want just lace at the top, like the red, that is about, this is the easiest pattern alteration you've ever seen. But it's about 4 inches down or 5 inches down from the front here. You just want to make sure that if you're going to put lace everywhere, you need to know if you need to cover some things up, if you know what I mean. So all you do is you take a ruler and line this up with this is the grain line of the pattern. Draw a line. This would be for the red top, and I would do the same thing in the back. For the pink top that I showed you that was a little bit lower, you decide where you want the lace to go. So I wanted mine to start just a little bit below the waistline. I'm just doing this by eyeball, but you can measure yourself. Again, just a line all the way across. You might have seen me do this before when I do color hacking, but then I put little hashtags like this. And then you're going to cut across the pattern. Either way. So for the red top, this area here will all be cut in lace. This area down here would all have been knit. For the pink, this would have been knit, and this would have been the lace, and this would have been the knit. So I've already cut out a few of these just to show you. There you go. So these are the patterns. So when I cut these out, when I take this to the fabric, these hashtags remind me to add a seam allowance there. For knits, I usually add a 1/2 inch. Otherwise, your top will end up too short. So I've cut out both of these so you can see. Here's the knit. This has a really high stretch. And again, this is the top. So how do you finish the edges? I'm going to show you how to serge this real quick. But on the edges, I just cut bias binding. This is about 2 inches wide. You can either cut it on the bias, or if your knit has stretch, just cut it right across the straighter grain. And that's how I finish the armholes and the neckline. But let me just show you a quick tip on sewing this in the serger. Now, if your knit stretches a lot, you might have a problem when you're attaching both of these. So I pulled out some of this to show you. Clear elastic. You can always attach clear elastic in any seam, and that will keep it stable instead of stretching out. For this lace, it wasn't so difficult. So I just have these 2 pieces here. Now, I don't even know if I cut them the same length, so if they end up shorter than the other, it wasn't on purpose. I'm using contrasting threads so you can see, and I have this set up for a 4-thread overlock stitch. And notice how I'm holding my finger in between both of these layers, making sure they line up, and I'm not stretching the fabric. You want the fabric to feed through without stretching. You can see this looks great on here. See it a lot better with the contrasting thread. And I can still stretch my top to get it over my head without ripping out. So that looks really nice. If you needed to use a little bit of this elastic, just going to give you a little piece here. If you haven't seen me do this before, you just slide the clear elastic in place under the foot without cutting it. And I'm just going to do a little section for you. Again, I'm not stretching the elastic, I'm just stitching. Just serge off here and show you the difference. So this section was without the elastic. It still stretches to get over your head. This section is with the elastic. It'll still stretch to get over your head. And that's how simple it is to alter a pattern to add lace and to stitch it in place.